Learn to crochet for the beginner. Today we learn treble crochet. Welcome back to GoodKnit Kisses, where we stitch our love and love our stitches. I'm your host Kristen, and I'm going to be showing you a series of beginner crochet videos. This series is going to be in my style, and I'm so happy to bring this to you, so stay tuned for all the videos that are coming. As always, I suggest that you watch the video through the first time before attempting to get the idea and all the tips along the way. Then grab your yarn and hook and pause as needed to crochet along with me. Today we treble crochet. If you need the double, the half double, or single, you can click on the link in the description below for those videos. Let's crochet. We're going to begin by making our slip knot. Make it however you like. This is just the way I do it. I pull my back loop over my front loop that's wound around my finger and go over it one more time to make a loop and insert my hook and pull on it to make my first loop. Now you're going to chain as many stitches wide as you want, or make the length, and then you're going to add 4 stitches for the treble or triple. Okay, so we're going to start by chaining. Make sure your chain is nice and loose, and we'll chain all those stitches up, adding the extra 4 stitches. Okay, pause your video and I'll see you in a moment when you have all your chains. To start the triple, we are going to go into the 5th chain from the hook. On this one, I have made 24 stitches, so I've added plus 4, so you're actually skipping those 4 and going into the 5th. So that's a way that you can remember. The treble is one that's easier to forget because it's not used as often, but basically you're skipping the extra 4 that you added on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th. So be sure and yarn over first, just like on the double, but we're going to actually do it 2 times, so twisting it around twice for the triple, and then we're going to go into that 5th chain from the hook and then yarn over one more time and pull through, and you will have 4 on the hook. Okay, so 4 loops. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, just like in the double, yarn over and pull through 2 again, but because we have that last stitch, we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 one more time. All right, let's do that again. We're going to yarn over twice, and then we're going to go into the next stitch. So not this one that's been pulled out, but the very next one, and yarn over. We've got 4 on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. All right, and that's 2 stitches. Yarn over twice, and then go into the next stitch, pull up a stitch, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through. We go through once, twice, 3 times, and you're just going to continue that all the way down to the end. And like the other videos, it is something that you're going to want to pay attention to when you come to your turning chain, when you come back to this turning chain down here on the 3rd row especially. So I'll pause at those points. So meet me back up at the end of this row for how many turning chains, and I'll see you in a moment. All right, I've come down to the end, and just as we had added on the 4 extra stitches, we're going to chain up 4 on this one. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then we're going to turn. And now this turning chain will count as a stitch. You actually have an extra one down here, but it's not really counting. So if you counted this again and you get 20 plus this 21 extra little bump, don't worry about it. We're going to address it, and you'll only have 20 of these little posts and a turning chain later on. So we're going to yarn over twice, and you skip this first stitch here at the end of this chain. So you follow this chain down, you're going to skip this first stitch, and whoops. I want to note that this first stitch here, just like all the rest down here, have this little V shape, and you're going to be inserting your hook through those stitches there. So this is the first one. We're going to skip it. Make sure you have your double yarn overs, and then go through the next one. Go through both stitches, and then you're going to pull through, and then do your yarn over where you go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over and go through 2. So now we have our first 2 stitches on our row. So we're just going to complete to the end of the row, and then go ahead and complete and chain up and work on your third row, and I'll meet you back up at the end here where we work into this turning chain, and you'll see the little trick there so that your project doesn't start getting like a wedge shape. You don't start decreasing. All right, pause your video and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, I'm at the end of row 3, and if I count all these posts here, including the turning chain, that is 18, and I need 2 more. So I'm going to double wrap that and go through the stitch that's very obvious that it's towards the end, and I still have 1 more. So we're going to work this stitch. Okay. And so now I need to go ahead and, so it looks like it lines up, but it doesn't actually. We need to make sure we have 20. So we're going to yarn over twice and go through that stitch here. And if you watch the double crochet video, I showed how to do this also in the half double crochet. So we're just going through this top stitch here in the chain. Okay, oops, grab that again. These top 2 stitches here, okay? And then we're going to pull through. So we've got 4 on our hook, and then you're going to complete it just as you've been doing before. All right, and then that completes that row, and then you're just going to chain up 4 and turn and complete your work. So you're just going to continue working this until you have a nice square, and meet me back at the end, and we'll finish that off together. See you in a moment. Okay, I finished my square, and I want to complete this last stitch. And once I have completed it, we're going to snip off about 6 inches of yarn and yarn over and pull through, and that will fasten off the yarn. And then you want to darn in the ends. And I've covered darning in the ends on all the other videos, but just to show you differently on the treble, since it's so long, we'll go ahead and put this in here. I'll flip it over to the back. And I like to go down through this first column here, or post, until this next row here, where there's several stitches. Pull this through. Make my tail a little shorter so that's more manageable. And I'm just going to start going through my stitches there. So you're going to use these little columns or posts to your advantage to hide your yarn. Okay? And then you just work your way through the post and go through the rows and down through a post again to weave in your yarn. Just like this. And then just as I've shown before, you can go back and cut through the middle of those to lock it in. And that way that yarn is not going to come unraveled. You don't want to have your project unravel on you. That's embarrassing. Especially if you give it as a gift. All right. And then once you're ready, you can just trim off your ends. Again, don't cut them super short. Allow them to work themselves in a little bit in a cleaning or blocking. If you want more information on blocking, I'll have that link in our blog and down the description below to see the video on how to block. I hope you enjoy learning how to triple crochet. Stay tuned for our next video on the linen stitch. We'll be working with it in this changing yarn as well as in the same yarn that we've done before, so you can see all the benefits of that. Be sure and click to subscribe and hit that notifications button so you don't miss a stitch. And we will have granny squares coming up in the videos coming after that, so stay tuned. I hope you have a great day and happy crochet. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.